Our world is packed with places so strange, they seem to break the laws of physics and logic. From Venezuela's Catatumbo lightning that rages endlessly in silence,
Lake Maracaibo and the Catatumbo storms is one of the greatest experiences you will ever get.
to Peru's boiling river that defies what rivers should be, these wonders baffle even seasoned scientists.
That's because one side of the split waterfall simply vanishes into rock with no apparent outlet.
What causes these impossible phenomena, and how do they exist at all? Get ready to uncover nature's greatest mysteries in 20 scientifically impossible places that actually exist. Number 20. The Door to Hell, Turkmenistan. Deep in the Karakum Desert of Turkmenistan lies a blazing inferno that looks like it was carved straight from the pits of the underworld. Officially known as the Darvaza gas crater, locals simply call it the Door to Hell. And one look at this fiery, 230-foot-wide crater makes it easy to see why. In 1971, Soviet geologists were drilling for natural gas when their rig suddenly collapsed into a hidden underground cavern. Fearing the release of poisonous methane gas, they set the hole on fire, thinking it would burn out in a few days. But they were very wrong. Over 50 years later, the crater is still burning, relentlessly and without pause, fueled by the massive natural gas reserves beneath it. The flames light up the night sky for miles, and the intense heat is enough to keep visitors at a safe distance. It has become a bizarre tourist attraction, though there are no guardrails or official safety measures, just a fiery pit in the middle of nowhere. Scientists and officials have debated sealing it off, but its haunting glow and seemingly eternal blaze have made it an iconic symbol of man's clash with nature. The Door to Hell is a reminder that sometimes, when we poke too hard at the earth, it pokes back with fire. Number 19. The Catatumbo lightning, Venezuela. In western Venezuela, over the marshes where the Catatumbo River meets Lake Maracaibo, the sky unleashes one of the planet's most bizarre and scientifically baffling light shows. Known as Catatumbo lightning, this natural phenomenon produces up to 260 lightning-filled nights per year with up to 280 strikes per hour, all in the same spot. What's especially unsettling is that this lightning storm often rages silently, illuminating the night sky with an almost supernatural glow. Locals call it El Relampago del Catatumbo, and to many, it's more than weather, it's legend. The lightning is so consistent and intense that for centuries, sailors used it as a natural lighthouse to navigate the treacherous waters of Lake Maracaibo. But why does it happen here and only here? Scientists believe the area's unique geography creates the perfect storm. Warm, moist winds from the Caribbean crash into cold air descending from the Andes Mountains, creating an endless cycle of electrical activity. Add to that the methane-rich swamps that may help conduct electricity, and you've got a natural lightning generator. And here's the kicker, despite all the theories, no one fully understands why this storm is so localized or so reliable. In 2010, it suddenly stopped for weeks, leaving scientists scratching their heads. Catatumbo lightning isn't just a weather event, it's a meteorological mystery that defies full scientific explanation, and it's still sparking curiosity worldwide. Number 18. Blood Falls, Antarctica. Deep within the icy, desolate landscape of Antarctica lies one of the continent's most shocking and puzzling features, blood falls. At first glance, it looks like something straight out of a horror movie. A crimson-red liquid oozing from the mouth of Taylor Glacier, staining the pristine white ice with streaks of what appears to be blood. But this eerie waterfall isn't the result of some polar crime scene. The blood is actually iron-rich, hypersaline water that has been trapped beneath the glacier for millions of years. When the salty, iron-laden water finally finds a path to the surface, it reacts with oxygen in the air, rusting almost instantly and creating that sinister red hue. What's even more fascinating is the mystery beneath the ice. Scientists discovered that this trapped subglacial lake contains ancient microorganisms that have survived for eons without sunlight or oxygen, conditions similar to those on Mars or Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. In other words, blood falls may offer clues to the possibility of life beyond Earth. Even more baffling is how this water flows through a glacier that's frozen solid. It defies what we know about how ice moves and melts. Blood falls isn't just creepy. It's a scientific anomaly and a chilling reminder of how much of our own planet remains unexplored and unexplained. Number 17. Lake Natron, Tanzania. At first glance, Lake Natron in northern Tanzania looks like a surreal work of art. Its waters shimmer in shades of red and pink, surrounded by a harsh, otherworldly landscape. But beneath its vivid beauty lies a terrifying reality. This lake has the power to turn animals into stone. Lake Natron gets its name from natron, a naturally occurring mix of sodium carbonate and baking soda that's found in high concentrations here. The lake's water is incredibly alkaline, with a pH as high as 10.5, almost as caustic as ammonia. Its surface temperatures can reach over 120 degrees Fahrenheit or 50 degrees Celsius, making it one of the most hostile environments on Earth. Animals that mistakenly dive into or fall into the lake are often mummified, their bodies preserved by the extreme salinity and chemical makeup of the water. Flamingos, strangely enough, thrive here by nesting on the lake's islands. Evolution has gifted them with tough skin and unique feeding methods that allow them to survive where most life would perish. But the real mystery? Scientists still don't fully understand how this lake maintains such high alkalinity and supports life in such deadly conditions. It's like nature wrote its own paradox, a beautiful, deadly place where life and death exist side by side. Lake Natron isn't just a lake, it's a chemical wonder, a biological puzzle, and a reminder that even the most picturesque places can hide lethal secrets. Number 16. Wave Rock, Australia. Rising out of the remote plains of Western Australia is one of nature's strangest and most gravity-defying wonders, Wave Rock. Standing at about 50 feet tall and 360 feet long, this massive granite formation looks exactly like a giant ocean wave frozen in mid-crash, about to break over the bushland below. What makes Wave Rock so scientifically baffling is not just its appearance, but how it was formed. Shaped over 2.7 billion years, the rock was gradually sculpted by a combination of chemical weathering and water erosion, but the result is so precise, so wave-like, that it almost seems like nature used a chisel and ruler. Rainwater running down the rock face over thousands of years wore away softer minerals at different rates, creating the dramatic curve and layered streaks that give it the appearance of a cresting wave. But here's the kicker. Wave Rock sits hundreds of miles from the nearest ocean. So why does it look like it belongs on a beach? That's part of the mystery. Some scientists believe it was once part of a much larger geological system influenced by ancient inland seas, but there's still debate. Adding to the surreal vibe, local Aboriginal legends speak of a giant serpent called the Rainbow Serpent that created the wave as it slithered across the land. Wave Rock isn't just a natural sculpture, it's a geological riddle, a sacred site, and a powerful reminder of Earth's ancient and mysterious forces. Number 15. Spotted Lake, Canada. Tucked away in British Columbia near the town of Osuyus, Spotted Lake looks like something straight out of a fantasy film. For most of the year, it appears fairly ordinary, but come summer, as the water evaporates under the heat, the lake transforms into a surreal, polka-dotted landscape of colorful spots in yellow, green, blue, and white. These spots are natural mineral pools, and they look like craters from another planet. Spotted Lake contains one of the highest concentrations of minerals in the world, including magnesium sulfate, calcium, sodium, and even traces of silver and titanium. As the water dries up, each mineral forms a unique pool, and the colors change depending on the type and concentration. Some are vibrant green, others ghostly white, and a few take on a rusty orange hue. To add to its mystery, the lake is considered sacred by the local Syilx Okanagan First Nations people, who have long believed in its healing properties. In fact, soldiers from World War I are said to have used the lake's mineral-rich mud for treating wounds. What puzzles scientists is the perfect circular shape of the pools and their consistent spacing. It's a natural phenomenon that seems almost too symmetrical to be random. Spotted Lake isn't just beautiful. It's a natural laboratory of chemistry, a cultural treasure, and a reminder that even the strangest sights on Earth can occur without any human interference. Number 14. Lake Hillier, Australia. On Middle Island off the southern coast of Western Australia lies Lake Hillier, a body of water so pink it looks like someone spilled a giant bottle of strawberry milk. Surrounded by lush greenery and the deep blue of the Southern Ocean, the lake's vibrant bubblegum hue is striking and incredibly mysterious. What's most bizarre is that the pink color never fades, even when the water is bottled. It's not a reflection, an illusion, or a trick of the light. Scientists believe the color comes from a combination of Dunaliella salina algae and halobacteria that thrive in the lake's extremely salty environment. These microorganisms produce red pigments as a way to absorb sunlight and protect themselves, which in turn gives the lake its iconic color. Despite its strange appearance, Lake Hillier is not toxic. In fact, it's completely safe to touch and even swim in, though access is limited due to its remote location and protected status. The surrounding area is part of the pristine Recherche archipelago, making it a spot rarely seen up close except by scientists or lucky drone pilots. What baffles researchers is why the pink hue is so intensely vibrant and stable, unlike similar salt lakes around the world that shift color with temperature or weather. Lake Hillier remains permanently pink, an Instagram dream, a natural oddity, and a sugary-looking mystery that science still hasn't fully solved. Number 13. The Bermuda Triangle, Atlantic Ocean. Few places on Earth have stirred as much fear and fascination as the Bermuda Triangle. Stretching between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, this vast section of the Atlantic Ocean has earned a chilling nickname, the Devil's Triangle. Why? Because it's been the site of hundreds of mysterious disappearances involving ships, planes, and entire crews, often without a trace. One of the most famous cases is Flight 19, a squadron of 5 U.S. Navy bombers that vanished in 1945 during a training mission. Even the rescue plane sent to find them disappeared. Since then, reports of compass malfunctions, ghost ships, and sudden, violent storms have only added to the legend. So what's really going on here? Theories range from plausible to paranormal. Some scientists point to rogue waves, unpredictable weather patterns, or methane gas eruptions that could destabilize ships. Others blame magnetic anomalies that interfere with navigation. And then there are the wilder ideas: underwater alien bases, time warps, and Atlantis. Despite the mystery, official investigations suggest that the number of incidents in the Bermuda Triangle isn't significantly higher than in any other heavily traveled area. But that hasn't stopped the legend from growing. Whether it's a misunderstood patch of ocean or something truly otherworldly, the Bermuda Triangle remains one of the most scientifically confounding and spine-tingling places on the planet. Number 12. Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. Stretching across more than 4,000 square miles in southwest Bolivia, Salar de Uyuni is the largest salt flat on Earth and one of the most surreal. It looks like a scene straight out of a science fiction movie, a vast, white expanse so flat and reflective it appears to merge with the sky. When it rains, this natural mirror creates an illusion where heaven and earth become one, and visitors feel like they're walking on clouds. Formed from ancient lakes that dried up thousands of years ago, Salar de Uyuni is composed of a thick crust of salt over a pool of brine rich in lithium, a mineral used in batteries. In fact, this region holds over 50% of the world's lithium reserves, making it scientifically valuable as well as visually stunning. But here's where it gets stranger. The salt crust is so flat that scientists use it to calibrate satellites. Its surface varies in elevation by less than an inch over miles. And beneath this crust lies a watery world that behaves in unexpected ways, challenging scientists' understanding of geology and mineral formation. To top it all off, the salt flat becomes an optical illusion playground where people appear to float, shrink, or grow thanks to the perfect reflections. Salar de Uyuni isn't just a pretty postcard, it's a geological marvel, a scientific resource, and one of Earth's most mind-bending landscapes. Number 11. Pamukkale, Turkey. Pamukkale, which means cotton castle in Turkish, is a place so otherworldly it looks like it was carved from snow or sculpted from white clouds. Located in southwestern Turkey, this dazzling natural wonder is famous for its stunning white terraces made of travertine, a form of limestone deposited by mineral-rich hot springs. Over thousands of years, the water flowing down the hillside has deposited layers of calcium carbonate, gradually forming a staircase of glistening bone-white pools. These terraces are filled with warm, turquoise-blue water that stays around 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 degrees Celsius, creating a surreal spa-like environment that attracts visitors from all over the world. But here's what makes Pamukkale truly fascinating. The same waters that built this cottony landscape have also supported human civilization for millennia. Just above the terraces lie the ruins of Hierapolis, an ancient Greco-Roman city where people once bathed in the mineral waters for their believed healing properties. Cleopatra herself is rumored to have visited. What seems scientifically impossible is the sheer consistency and purity of the formation. Why doesn't it erode away? Why is the color so blindingly white year after year? It's a delicate balance of water chemistry, temperature, and flow rate, a combination so precise that even slight changes could disrupt this natural masterpiece. Pamukkale is not just a visual feast, it's a living sculpture, a natural spa, and a scientific wonder rolled into one. Number 10. Magnetic Hill, Ladakh, India. Tucked away in the dramatic landscape of Ladakh, India, Magnetic Hill is a stretch of road that seems to defy the laws of gravity. When you park your vehicle at the marked spot on the road and switch off the engine, something bizarre happens. It starts to roll uphill on its own. Sounds like a magic trick? Many think so, but it's an actual phenomenon that continues to baffle tourists and scientists alike. Located at an altitude of around 11,000 feet, Magnetic Hill has inspired a host of wild theories. Some believe it's caused by a strong magnetic field pulling vehicles upward, which supposedly can even interfere with aircraft navigation. Others suggest a more grounded explanation. It's a clever optical illusion created by the layout of the surrounding hills and road. What looks like an uphill slope is actually a slight downhill incline, and your brain gets tricked into perceiving the opposite. But even knowing that doesn't make the experience any less eerie. Watching cars seemingly defy gravity in the barren, high-altitude desert is something that sticks with you. Adding to the mystique, local legends speak of a road to heaven, where only the righteous are pulled upward. Whether it's magnetic mystery or mind-bending illusion, Magnetic Hill is a fascinating blend of science, superstition, and spectacle that continues to draw thrill-seekers and skeptics from around the world. Number 9. Meeting of Waters, Brazil. In the heart of the Amazon rainforest, just outside the city of Manaus, Brazil, nature puts on one of its strangest and most mesmerizing shows, the Meeting of Waters. Here, two mighty rivers, the dark, tea-colored Rio Negro and the sandy, light brown Amazon River Solimões, flow side by side for nearly 4 miles without mixing. It's not just a pretty sight, it's a scientific puzzle. The phenomenon is so visually striking that it looks like someone drew a line between two entirely different rivers. But why don't they mix immediately? The answer lies in their differences in temperature, speed, and density. The Rio Negro flows more slowly, is warmer, and contains more organic matter, giving it a darker hue. In contrast, the Solimões is faster, cooler, and laden with sediment, giving it a milky brown appearance. These contrasting properties prevent the waters from blending right away, creating a rare natural boundary between the two rivers. Eventually, they do mix further downstream, but for several miles, the two distinct colors remain boldly divided. What makes this place even more special is its symbolism. It's not just a collision of water, it's a meeting of ecosystems, cultures, and biodiversity, as the Amazon basin is home to more species than anywhere else on Earth. The Meeting of Waters isn't just a scenic oddity, it's a living lesson in fluid dynamics, chemistry, and the sheer complexity of nature. Number 8. Rio Tinto, Spain. The Rio Tinto in southwestern Spain is one of the most surreal rivers on Earth. Flowing through the region of Andalusia, this river is bright red and orange, resembling liquid rust or even blood. It looks like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's very real and very toxic. The river's eerie coloration comes from its extremely high acidity and rich concentrations of heavy metals like iron, copper, and sulfur. For over 5,000 years, the area has been heavily mined, dating back to the ancient Iberians, Romans, and Moors. All that mining left behind a chemical legacy that transformed the river into a caustic, alien-like environment. What's even more fascinating is that, despite its acidity and toxicity, the Rio Tinto is teeming with life, but not the kind we're used to. Scientists have discovered extremophile microorganisms living in the river, organisms that can survive in conditions once thought impossible. These hardy microbes feed on iron and sulfur and are helping researchers understand how life might exist on other planets, like Mars or Europa. NASA has even studied the Rio Tinto as an Earth-based model for extraterrestrial life due to its similarities with Martian conditions. So while you definitely don't want to take a swim in the Rio Tinto, it stands as a striking and scientifically valuable place where beauty, danger, and the search for alien life all converge in one otherworldly red river. Number 7. Underwater Waterfall, Mauritius. Off the southwest coast of Mauritius, near the stunning Lemorne Peninsula, lies a jaw-dropping natural illusion known as the underwater waterfall. At first glance, it looks like a massive cascade plunging into the ocean floor, a sight that seems to break all logic and leaves viewers wondering if they're seeing a real-life glitch in the planet's programming. But this phenomenon isn't actually a waterfall. It's an optical illusion created by the movement of sand and silt along the ocean floor. Mauritius is surrounded by a shallow lagoon, but just beyond that, the seabed drops dramatically into the depths of the Indian Ocean. When currents push light or sand off this underwater ledge, it creates the illusion of a deep waterfall pouring into the abyss. Seen best from the air, the shifting sand and varying water depths combine to mimic the appearance of rushing water falling into a massive void. It's a perfect blend of nature and perspective trickery, no CGI required. While it might not be a real waterfall, the illusion is so convincing that it has become one of Mauritius's most photographed and mysterious landmarks. Scientists and travelers alike marvel at how such a simple play of light, color, and topography can produce something that looks so impossibly real. The underwater waterfall of Mauritius reminds us that sometimes the planet doesn't need magic to look magical, just the right angle. Number 6. Devil's Kettle, Minnesota. Deep in Minnesota's Judge C. R. Magny State Park lies a natural mystery that has puzzled scientists and adventurers alike, the Devil's Kettle. Along the Brule River, the water dramatically splits in two. One half continues down a standard waterfall, while the other half disappears into a large, swirling hole in the rock, and seemingly vanishes from the face of the earth. For years, no one could figure out where the disappearing water went. Researchers tried everything: dye tests, ping pong balls, even GPS trackers, but none of them reappeared downstream. It was like nature's version of a magic trick. This baffled scientists and inspired local legends. Some believed it led to an underground cavern or a bottomless pit. Others half-joked it might be a portal to another dimension. The eerie name Devil's Kettle certainly didn't help ease the mystery. Eventually, after extensive geological studies, scientists concluded that the missing water rejoins the river downstream through underground fissures, but due to the area's unique volcanic rock and underground structure, it took years to confirm. Even with an explanation, the Devil's Kettle remains a place of wonder. The sheer visual of a river splitting and one half disappearing into a hole in the earth is mesmerizing. It's a rare reminder of how nature still guards some of its secrets, no matter how advanced science becomes. Number 5. The Eternal Flame Falls, New York. Hidden within the Shale Creek Preserve of Chestnut Ridge Park in western New York is a small but mesmerizing waterfall with a fiery secret, a natural gas flame that burns right behind the cascading water. Known as the Eternal Flame Falls, this surreal sight looks like something straight out of a fantasy novel. Water tumbling over rock while a flame flickers magically beneath it. But this isn't magic, it's science with a twist of mystery. The flame is fueled by natural methane gas that seeps up through cracks in the shale rock. Normally, gas seeps like this would be extinguished by water, but in this unique location, a tiny alcove shelters the flame, allowing it to stay lit. Visitors often relight it if it goes out, giving it a kind of mythical status. What makes the eternal flame truly intriguing is that geologists once believed the gas source wasn't hot enough to create the amount of methane it produces. In other words, this flame shouldn't exist, or at least not the way it does. That has led some researchers to speculate there may be an unknown geological process at work beneath the surface. Whether you see it as a scientific anomaly or a mystical natural wonder, the Eternal Flame Falls is a glowing reminder that even in the modern world, there are still places where fire and water coexist in impossible harmony. Number 4. The Boiling River, Peru. Deep in the heart of the Amazon rainforest lies a river that defies belief, the Timpishka, better known as the boiling river of Peru. This natural wonder gets its name for a very literal reason. The water is so hot, it can boil animals alive. Temperatures reach up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit or 93 degrees Celsius, and in some places, the river is actually bubbling. For centuries, local indigenous communities considered the boiling river sacred, guarded by powerful jungle spirits. But scientists were baffled. How could a river heat up to near boiling temperatures without volcanic activity nearby? That's the scientific impossibility. The mystery was unraveled by geoscientist Anders Russo, who discovered that the river is heated by geothermal energy. Rainwater seeps deep into the earth through fault lines, gets superheated by the planet's interior, and is forced back up through cracks, emerging as a scorching hot river. But what's puzzling is how this process could create such intense heat over such a wide area without the usual volcanic conditions. The boiling river stretches for over 4 miles and is up to 82 feet wide in places. It's a place of raw, untamed power, beautiful, deadly, and shrouded in both spiritual and scientific intrigue. Swimming here isn't just a bad idea, it's potentially fatal. But for those fascinated by Earth's mysteries, the boiling river is a steamy reminder that the planet still holds secrets that feel almost supernatural. Number 3. Kumakivi Balancing Rock, Finland. In the forests of southeastern Finland stands a geological riddle that seems to defy gravity itself, the Kumakivi Balancing Rock. This massive boulder, estimated to weigh several tons, sits perched on top of a gently curved bedrock surface. The wild part? It appears to balance so precariously that it looks like a light breeze could tip it over. Yet it's been stuck in that exact position for thousands of years. Kumakivi literally translates to strange rock, and once you see it, you'll understand why. Despite its wobble-worthy look, it's completely immovable by human strength. Even attempts to push it with force go nowhere. So how did it get there? Geologists believe the rock was deposited during the last ice age, when retreating glaciers dragged massive boulders across the landscape and left them behind in bizarre places. But the exact mechanics of how such a large rock came to rest so perfectly on such a small contact point still baffles observers. Local legends, of course, offer their own explanations. Some say giants placed it there, or forest spirits left it behind as a warning. Regardless of its origin, Kumakivi is a visual paradox, a giant stone that defies common sense. It's one of nature's optical mind tricks, a monument to the strange balance between time, erosion, and mystery. If you ever visit Finland, it's the kind of place that makes you pause, scratch your head, and ask, how is this even possible? Number 2. Blue Lava Kawah Ijen Volcano, Indonesia. At first glance, it looks like something out of a science fiction movie. Electric blue lava flowing down the slopes of a volcano under the night sky. But this is no special effects trick. This surreal phenomenon happens for real at the Kawah Ijen volcano in East Java, Indonesia, one of the only places on Earth where you can witness what appears to be glowing blue fire spilling from the Earth. But here's the twist. It's not actually lava that's blue. The illusion is caused by sulfuric gases that escape from cracks in the volcano at extremely high temperatures, over 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit or 600 degrees Celsius. When these gases come into contact with the oxygen-rich air and ignite, they produce intense blue flames, some reaching up to 16 feet high. At night, the burning sulfur flows down the slopes, creating the illusion of glowing blue rivers. This rare event is only visible in darkness, giving it an eerie, otherworldly feel. During the day, the effect disappears entirely, and the volcano looks deceptively ordinary. Adding to the danger, Kawah Ijen houses one of the world's largest acidic crater lakes, a turquoise pool filled with sulfuric acid strong enough to dissolve metal. The blue lava of Kawah Ijen is a mesmerizing example of how nature can blur the line between beauty and danger and serve up a fiery spectacle that seems to break all the rules of science. Number 1. Sailing Stones of Death Valley, California. In one of the hottest and driest places on Earth, Death Valley's Racetrack Playa, a bizarre and long-standing mystery has unfolded for decades. Giant stones that move across the desert floor all by themselves. These sailing stones, some weighing up to 700 pounds, leave long, snaking trails behind them in the cracked earth as if they've been pushed by invisible hands. For years, this phenomenon baffled scientists and sparked wild theories. Some believed in magnetic forces, others suspected supernatural activity, and a few even blamed pranksters. But no one had ever actually seen the rocks move. Finally, in 2014, researchers cracked the case. They discovered that under just the right conditions, a rare combination of rainfall, freezing overnight temperatures, and light winds, a thin layer of ice forms on the playa. As the morning sun melts the ice, it breaks into large floating panels. With a gentle breeze, these panels slowly push the rocks across the slippery mud beneath them. The process is painstakingly slow, sometimes taking days to move a stone just a few feet. Still, witnessing the aftermath, massive stones with mysterious trails zigzagging behind them, is like stumbling upon a geological ghost story. The sailing stones of Death Valley remind us that nature doesn't need magic to appear magical. Sometimes, the strangest sights on Earth have surprisingly subtle causes hidden in plain sight. Our planet holds secrets that even science struggles to explain. Which of these unbelievable places would you dare to visit? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping journeys across Earth's weirdest wonders.